familia, it's Alex. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. So today I am sharing with you guys a palette bingo. I haven't done a palette bingo in so long, so I'm kind of excited about this, and I'm actually going to use the Natasha Denona retro palette. I wanted to incorporate this palette again in my on my channel and give you guys my final thoughts on it, what I think about it. I've been using it nonstop since I got it. I've been taking breaks here and there just to remind myself about the formula when I try other things out. You guys know, like, you psych yourself out and then you go back to it and you're like, oh, I really do like it, kind of thing. So I'm going to do palette bingo because I figured that'd be the most fun and unique way to see what I can come up with as far as this palette, because I will gravitate to one end or the other of this palette, and I don't want to do that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. But first, if you're new to my channel, welcome to the familia. My name is Alejandra. I'm an eyeshadow enthusiast with a dash of Project Pan. If that is something that interests you, subscribe, join us. And now let's get on with the palette bingo. Okay, so I've already done a video on this palette, comparing it to other Natasha Denona palettes, and you guys, there are so many palettes out there that are mauve toned or mauve color stories. So if you're not into the mauve tone theme, don't get this palette. If you have a million mauve theme palettes and you don't want another one, then this one is not for you. There's nothing super unique about this palette that I can say this is my number one mauve palette. The only thing that I will say is that I love Natasha Denona's formula. So anything she comes out with, I truly enjoy because of the actual formulation of her shadows and how my eyelids are. So for me, this is one of my top favorite mauve palettes because of the formula itself, not necessarily because it's unique. And I will put that out there because I know this is not a unique palette. If you have a ton of these and you're on the fence, don't do it unless you're willing to use it for what it's worth. You're not going to get a dud out of here. There's not one shadow in here that I feel like is a dud. So that's all I'm going to say about it before we get started on this palette bingo. All right, so we're going to pick the shades in here now. I'm going to go across and then I'll give you guys more insight on this palette, what I've liked, dislike, what I feel about it. If you want to hear any more in depth about it, I like to give you guys a well-rounded thought process instead of just doing a first impression kind of thing, because your thoughts may change, or as you're using palettes different days, the weather may help to like the palette more or dislike the palette more, because you don't know. And you know, I could have a very stressful, sweaty day versus just sitting on the couch one day. So I always like to take those things into consideration. So let's go ahead and pick our 5 shades first. So let's go with the first shade. Come on, man. Where are you? Number 12. So that is 15, 14, 13, 12 right here, which is called Nude Mauve. This is a really pretty shade. There it is right there. It is mauve toned. The second one is 6, which is this one right here, which we have 5, 6 right here, which is another matte. That one is called Groove. Let's groove tonight. Okay, next shade that we have, I can't even touch the button, 13. Ooh, that's another matte. Rebellion. This is the darkest and most red. Could you see that? It's like really red. It's not as purple, but it's red. Here we go. Let's get a shimmer, shall we? Please. I don't want it all matte. Look. 4th shade that we have. Number 4. Oh my goodness. Another matte. Mod. I'm telling you. I'm never lucky with these at all. Okay. And the last one. Shimmer, shimmer, shimmer. Number 7. 5, 6, 7. Another matte. Oh man, I didn't get one shimmer shade. This is apart. This is one of her cream ones. Let me slide my watch down. I'm trying not to take off my watch because Mr. Man keeps texting me. The man won't leave me alone even if it's at work. There is my color story. Not one shimmer shade, period, end of story. So I'm going to zoom you guys in so then we can do this look, and yeah, we'll figure it out. We will figure this out. Okay, let me zoom you in. All right, you guys, I have done my face, including my lips. I have on my lip liner that's currently in a Project Pan. This is Milani So Natural, but I decided to do a mauve toned lip because obviously it's a mauve palette. I'm using the Quo Velvet Kiss Liquid Lip in the shade Mauve Love. So this was gifted to me by Lisa. This is a Canadian brand, so you can't get it in the States unless you order it online, I think, if you can. I don't know. But it's beautiful, and it is very comfortable for a liquid lip. I do not feel it on my lips at all, which I'm digging. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I think I'm going to go with the first shade, which was Nude Mauve. Nude Mauve is this shadow right over here. I'm just gonna put it all over the crease and buff it out. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but we're gonna wing it. You guys like my pom-poms again? I just did not feel like doing my hair. I really didn't. All right, you guys, so like I mentioned, I have already done a comparison to other palettes. You definitely can dupe this palette. It is not dupable. With the exception of her creamy mattes, I think that they're one of the best out in the market, especially for somebody who has very oily lids. I can attest to them not creasing at all. And I have heard from individuals who have hooded lids that they also love them. So I think that that's the most unique thing you'll have out of this palette. She does have, for the first time, at least in my, from what I can see, is she does have some like glitter toppers, sort of like sheer shadows, I would call them. They're gorgeous. I was wishing to get one of them, but I did not. I got an all matte look. This is the first time I'm doing an all matte look with this palette, because I'm always doing a shimmer on here. So let's see what we come up with. Now this palette, I have heard a lot of people complain about it not being all mauve tones. It is, you guys. You gotta, the pictures and cameras cannot take it in when you see it in person. It looks so different in person. I did my best when I posted it on my Instagram to give you guys the best lighting I possibly could to make it look as true to the color story that it is. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, there's browns in here. There is not browns, you guys. Look, that still has a grayish purple tone. You're gonna get purple undertones in here. You're gonna get burgundy undertones. You're gonna get red undertones, pink undertones. You're not getting browns. Some of these shadows look brown, like this nude mauve that I just used. It looks brown, but it's not. It has a purple hue to it. So I want you to keep that in the back of your mind when you're thinking this is another brown mauve palette. It's not. It's a mauve palette, but it just has different undertones. So you can take it differently. You can have more of a burgundy look. You can have more of a purple look. You can have more of a pink look. You can have more of a red look. So she made it where you can have diversity with this palette and not stick to just one color story. It's not a monochromatic palette, and that's why I personally love it myself. All right, so I think I'm gonna go with the second shade we got, which is right here called Groove, which is this shade right here, and just kind of like bring it out here. I have something in my mind, but I just have too many different things in here, and I wish I had a shimmer shade. So anyway, I will say that if you are somebody who loves mauves and you want another mauve palette, you're not going to be disappointed. You're not going to be disappointed, and you can clearly see Natasha Denona shadows are really good. I was one of those people, and I will raise my hand and be honest and blunt and upfront. I was one of those people that didn't understand the hype. I could not get myself to spend the money for her shadows, her palettes. And then when she started pulling out her $65 palettes and her $25 palettes, that's when I started to get in it and realizing it was worth the money to me personally because of my eyelids. I have very oily eyelids. My eyelids eat up cheap shadow. If you have a cheap shadow on my eyelid, it will not last. Even with a primer, as much as I will try to do what I can, it won't last no more than like probably 6 hours. And if I want something to last me a work day, including commute, I need something that's worth it. So for me, Natasha Denona is 100% worth it. I can trust her to wear this for 12, 14, 16 hours and it still looks great. So I actually do not mind spending the $65, do not mind spending the $129 because I've done it. And I even have her large $250 some palettes that I did not spend that much money on though. I got them on sale, a really good deal. So, but I do own those as well. I think that now I've realized that they're worth it to me. But I think it's something where you have to take that initiative yourself and realize whether a formula is worth it for you if you're willing to spend the money at least and try it out the first time. I love that fact that she allows us to be able to have some sort of price range for us. Those that only want $25, that can only spend that much. Only those that can spend a little bit more, 65, but you can't get to 129. And for those that can splurge, can splurge. So I appreciate that because there is some brands that don't do that. And I think a lot of people a lot of brands are realizing that they do need some sort of price points because not everyone can spend the money, but you have to keep the formula throughout. And Natasha Denona keeps the formula throughout, which I can appreciate. So this palette, I'm just going to blend out the edges. This palette, as you guys can see, I barely have dipped in any of these shades. I have like just bounced my brush in here. You do not need to swirl your brushes in any of her palettes. Like, she knows how to work them. She's good. I dig her. All right, I think I'm going to go in with Mod and put that all over the lid because it's the lightest color I have. And since we're doing an all matte shade, why not? All matte palette. Look, see? I'm barely pressing in there and I'm getting the pigment that I want. I love this palette because I feel like I'm not a mauve person. I've said this before. I am not a mauve tone palette person. But if it's Natasha Denona or a brand like Viseart that I know I can trust and I can use, I'm going to go ahead and get it. I think that I love the versatility that she has in here because I can grab 2 shadows or even 1 shadow and put it all over my lid and move on with my life. And I look at that. It's just so pigmented. I dig her shadows. It's a gorgeous formula. Very, very pretty. And I will put it in perspective to you guys because I know I've gotten comments where
I don't want to spend $65 on a mauve palette.
But let me put it to you like this. I feel like people, and I'm not generalizing it overall, like certain individuals are okay with spending $65 on a Huda Beauty mauve palette, but you have a problem spending $65 on the Natasha Denona mauve palette. If it were up to me, I'd 100% spend the $65 on Natasha Denona over the Huda Beauty. One, the formula is 100 times better. You're not going to find a dud in the palette. You can pop out the shadows, rearrange them, pop whatever you want in there from other palettes that she has. She gives you a mirror. It is more compact and dense than a Huda Beauty palette is. And this is a hard plastic where I feel like that'll travel with me if I want to throw it in my bag to bring it to work or to use it later on in the day to switch up my look or whatever the case may be. I think people forget that, and they just think about Natasha Denona as a brand instead of branching out mentally and thinking, okay, would I spend $65 on Natasha Denona and her formula is amazing? Have I spent money on Huda Beauty? Have I spent money on Viseart? Have I spent money on Urban Decay? You got to put it out there. Think about it as a broad thing and consider it that way if that's something that's bothering you with the price. Because I've spent money on a 5-pan palette that'll cost me $35, where an additional $20 for 15 shadows that I know are amazing. You know what I mean? That's just my mental way of thinking of things. Because I have gotten comments where it's like, well, I don't want to spend $65 on a mauve palette. But then they are showcasing a $65 palette from Huda that's the same concept. And yet this one I feel like is a lot better. And that's just my personal opinion. I love Natasha Denona. But I will also be honest, if one of her palettes is a dud, she ain't paying me anything. And even if she was paying me something, I still would be honest with you guys. Because what do I have to lose? This is my side hustle. This is not my daily job. So I'm good. What else do I have to say about this palette? Look how beautiful that shadow look is. I know it doesn't go with my eye look, but it's okay. I'm going to take the last shade we got, which was Apart. Apart is that creamy shade, but I think I'm going to first grab Rebellion and blend it out with Apart on my lower lash line. So I'm going to grab those two, and I got to do it gently because these are going to be very, very pigmented. What else do I have to say? This brings a mirror. I haven't taken off the plastic, but it brings a mirror, so you guys have that option too. What else? This is a permanent palette, so if you are still on the fence, you still want to think about it, maybe go through your collection, talk yourself out of it, you want to wait till the holiday season. Natasha Denona does amazing sales for Black Friday and for Christmas. That's how I've been able to get a lot of her larger palettes. For instance, I got the gold palette maybe a year ago, and I think I spent $30 at most on that palette. I didn't spend the $130. I only spent $30. For the two large ones, I got one for free. Of the large ones, I got one of those for free, completely brand new from the Natasha Denona website. I get all of my Natasha Denona palettes from her website because they package them well. They come in 2 business days, you guys. I mean, they're at my doorstep 2 days after I order them. And I think that she is, I want to support directly to her. So I go directly to her website. I feel comfortable doing that, and she has awesome sales all the time. So I have nothing bad to say about this palette. Again, I'm gonna go in with a part now. Again, if you have this palette, you want to wait on it, do it. You're not. I don't think this is something that's gonna leave anytime soon. This to some may be a boring palette. This is all cool tones. So if you're a warm tone lover, this is not the palette for you. If you are been waiting for cool tones, I think that this is a great palette. I have a medium skin tone right now. I still have my tan. So I have medium skin tone and it still works great for me. So don't think that because you're a little bit deeper it won't work for you. It will work for you. What else do I have to say about this palette? I just can't. I would say if you're on the fence, wait. She'll have a sale later on. She'll probably bundle this up with the Glam palette to make it into a bundle and you can get a discount off of that. I can almost guarantee she's going to do that for the holiday season. This palette I think is work appropriate. It's for the everyday person. I can see myself grabbing this one shadow, even using my fingers and out the door kind of thing. Some of you guys may think this is a boring palette, but honestly, you guys, you have to think outside of YouTube. If I didn't do YouTube, or I always picture my neighbors because they don't care about YouTube. They're working moms. They have small children just like I do, but they're out in the workforce, and I can see them using this palette and being so happy with it because it is a color story that is fine to go with. Like, it's acceptable, it's toned down, and it's different because it's cool tone, and I appreciate that. I'm not a cool tone person all the way, but I still like everything and I enjoy everything. You guys know that, and I think this is a great palette. I really, really do. Last thing I want to do, because I am extra, I want to actually grab Rebellion and put that a little bit like out here because it's more red based. And I want to add a little bit of that redness to my look. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab a pencil liner brush and just like kind of like chisel it here. Oh, that looks so pretty. And this is like that cream. She has more than 3 cream to shadow. I think, yeah, she has like 4. Rebellion's another one that's like a cream to powder. It's really pretty. Look at that. I really like this. I'm surprised at myself at how much I am enjoying this palette because, again, I am not a mauve tone person. And I don't reach for a lot of cool tones unless I am in the dead of winter. This is a beautiful, romantic, bridal, evening gown, sophisticated. Like, that's what I think of when I see this palette. I just think of all those things. And I can definitely see a ton of people loving this palette. Like, I can give this to somebody who has mature skin and I think they would love it. Absolutely love it. It's a beautiful palette, you guys. And again, this is all just my opinion, and I just want you guys to make the decision for yourself. I'm not here to push this on you guys. I'm not getting anything out of it. And even if I was getting anything out of it, I'm not the one storing it. I'm not the one using it. I'm not the one spending the extra money on it. I already spent the money on it once. This is gorgeous though. I think I might like this one more than the Glam one because I get color. You know what I mean? Like purples and reds. See how pretty that is? You even get these red. The undertones of these are beautiful. You're getting red undertones and the purples and the cooler ones. It's just so pretty. I really, really, really do like that. And that red that I just put out there is just gorgeous. Can't believe I got an all matte look. Always, always me. Let me just try to, there. All right, let me put on my mascara and I'll be right back and show you the final look. All right, you guys, this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section, did you get this palette? Did you not get it? Are you against it? Are you for it? Do you see what I mean? Do you not see what I mean? Palette bingo is always so much fun for me because it always pulls me out of my comfort zone in a way. Not that my comfort zone is that big, because you guys know I'll do anything and try out anything. But I mean, like, I never thought to do an all matte look. I honestly did not think to do an all matte look, and I really, really like it. I love how it turned out. It's more purpley with that red liner. I really, really like it. These are, look at all these. You're getting so many fun shades. So that's it, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching and tolerating me today, because I've been all over the place with my hair and everything. I'll put my videos on the screen for your enjoyment. Until then, adios.